places you can be. You can be in a part score, or a game. Okay? A game, bid a game, you need to have 25 points between the two. So let's say you've discerned that. How many clubs do you have to bid to make gaming clubs?
5.
5 clubs. You need 5 clubs. So you have to take how many tricks? 11 tricks. Okay? How many diamonds do you need?
5.
Okay? How many hearts?
4.
How many spades?
4.
How many no trump?
3.
Okay. And going back to our scoring, just for the trick value of this, 5 clubs is 5 times 20 or 100. 5 diamonds is 5 times 20 or 100. 4 hearts is how much?
30.
120.
120. 4 times 30. 4 spades is how much?
120.
4 times 30. 3 no trump is how much?
40 and 60. 100.
40 for the first one and 30 for the next two, 100. So if you can get to 100 points trick value, those are called games. So these are the game contracts. That's what you're ideally shooting for. But even within this, some of these games are better to be in than others. And which ones do you suppose those would be?
Majors.
And if you've got a fit.
Well, we're assuming at this point you do have a fit, okay? And I'll talk about what the fit is. Okay, so these 3 are superior than the 5 clubs and 5 diamonds. First of all, you need to take 2 more tricks to make it in clubs rather than no trump, and 1 more over hearts and spades. Hearts and spades score more, okay? So, how many cards, let's say we're not going to play a no trump, you're going to play in a suit. How many cards that are going to be trump do you and your partner need between you for it to be a good trump suit? Okay, that should be our trump suit.
At least 8.
At least 8. Why is that?
Because you have a majority.
Well, yeah, majority. That's exactly right. There's 13 cards. If they're split 7-6, if you have 7 and your partner has 6, they have almost as many trumps or cards in that suit as you do. And that's sort of okay, but not nearly as okay as having 8 and then they would have 5. Obviously, the higher up you get here, it's even better. 9, 4, 10, 3, etc. Okay, but this is the one we're going to focus on, the 8, 5. And the book calls that the golden fit. Okay? This is the total number of trumps you need between your 2 hands to make that your trump suit. And we'll talk about how you make it your trump suit. But if you determine through your bidding that the 2 of you have 8 spades between you, you want to end up in some number of spades. If you know you have 25 points, you want to be in 4 spades. If you've determined you have less than 25 points, what do you want to do?
3 or 2.
Yeah, if you have less than 25 points, you should be in a contract lower than game. Okay, so it's very important as you're bidding to say, okay, I bid a spade. If you're my partner, says he's got at least 13 points and at least 5 spades, and categorize that information. You're looking at your own hand. You know what you have. If you've got 8 points, where should you be? What level should you be in?
3.
Okay, your partner's got at least 13, could have 21, right?
13 and 8 is 21.
The range is 13 to 21, the ones that
3 of them.
Well, you have to.
you don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, if your partner has 13 points, you want to be on a part score because 13 and 8 is 21. But if your partner's got 19 points and you've got 8, that's more than 25. You want to be in the game. All right, so there's bids that we're going to learn as we go along that you can further describe your hand within this broad range here. That's why bidding suits in many ways is more challenging than no trump, because no trump is very descriptive. The bid is very precise. Once you bid one no trump, your partner knows almost exactly what you have in your hand. And it's much easier for you to look at your hand, add it to what you know about your partner's hand, and come up with an appropriate contract. Next week we're going to be talking about responses to one no trump. The week after that we'll talk about responses to suit bid. bids. Okay, so let's just talk about this perfect fit for a minute. If you have the golden fit, we're going to call it, 8 or more cards of the suit between the two of you. Then you want to be in that suit, if possible, either a part score or a game. Generally, let's say your golden fit is in clubs or diamonds. You find out with your bidding that you and your partner have 8 diamonds between you. What should you try to get into? What should you bid? You should bid no trump. Generally, if you have the golden fit and clubs or diamonds or the minor suits, you want to steer it to no trump if possible. I mean, there are occasions when that may not be possible, but these are the 3 game bids you're trying to reach. All right. So first, you need to determine what level, and you do that by a series of bids, and then you determine what strain, and you do that once again by the communication back and forth. Where one bid means I have X number of these cards. You can look at your hands and see what you have and add it to it. Okay, so let's look. Let's change roles here. Can someone see that clock? Can you tell me what that is?
7:09.
7:09.
Do you want it moved?
All right, now we talked about the opening bids. Let's talk about the responder for a second. And I'm not going to go into much detail tonight on the point counts, and if you have 6 points, do that, and 10 points, do that. I just want you to get a general concept down that I think will be helpful to you if you think about the hands this way. Okay, so now you're the responder, your partner has opened. So if he opens one no trump, you've got a real clear picture, all right? If he opens one club, diamond, heart, spade, you have a picture, but a murkier picture, correct? You're going to need more information from her before you can really make an evaluation. But one thing you can do, in many instances, you can determine if you should be in part score or game. Okay, so the responder can tell where they should be sometimes after the very first bid. Okay, and that will direct your bidding somewhat. Let me give you an example here. Okay. All right. So in this hand, you're the responder. Okay. How many points do you have?
3.
4. 3. 4. You're correct. 4. All right. So what message do you think, if you just put it in plain English, what message do you want to send to your partner if you pick up that hand and your partner opens one club? I don't have much partner. Okay, so you're going to be very passive, more likely to pass this hand. In fact, you
You're
will
going to pass it?
If you have less, just in general, if you have less than 6 points, you
Right,
pass.
yeah.
Okay, that's just one thing to remember. Less than 6 points, you pass. So this is a pass, and that's, you're done, you know. Hard, I'm broke, I don't have anything. Okay, but let's say you have this. How many points you have there?
8.
Okay, so where should you be? Game or part score or pass? Part score?
Could be game over partner.
Yeah.
Way up.
It could be either, right? Depending upon how many points your partner has. But game is not out of the question yet, is it? But it's not certain yet either, right? So you've got to make a bid, and we'll explain what some of these bids are. It says, partner, I've got some points here, but I'm not sure we have game. You know, tell me more about your hand. Those are called invitational bids. And invitational bids, and there's going to be a lot of invitational bids we're going to talk about. All right. So if you have a hand that's in the 8 or 9 point range, generally you want to make an invitational bid. In suits, it can be a little higher than that. But let's say you have this hand. You got 12. Let's do it. You got a good hand, right? You got an opening hand. Your partner has an opening hand. Where should you be? You should be in game, right? So you have to make a bid. Every one of your bids must force him or her to bid again. You cannot make a bid short. You cannot let them bid something short of game without bidding again. They can't do that. And there's many forcing bids. So if you are the responder, and the responder, by the way, is the captain. The opening bidder is the describer. This person is saying, "Part, here's what I have. What should we do with it?" As the responder, you know more because you know what she has, plus you know what you have. You're in a better position to guide where the contract goes. So you're the captain, and as captain of this ship that's heading to game, what can you not do? Or let it stop short of game. Okay? Now there's multiple forcing bids you can make, and we'll get into that in some detail. But when you have a hand like this, you either bid game directly or make bids that force your partner to bid again until you reach game. And what's your ultimate goal with all of this bidding that we're talking about? You're trying to find the best reasonable contract you and your partner can be in. Okay? If you have the majority of the points, certainly if you have 25 of the points, should your opponents have the contract? No. They really shouldn't. You should be in the game. Now, they may make interfering bids to mess you all up. And as you play longer, this is going to happen more and more. And there's a lot of things you can do. But if you have the points, you should be in game. And even if you get interference, you should do your best to try to get it there. Okay? So that's very important. You want to determine what the highest reasonable level is and what strength. You determine strain. Where do we have the most cards? Let's say you don't have an 8-card fit anywhere. Where should you be? No trump. No trump. Find your 8-card fit. If it's hearts or spades, go there. If it's diamonds or club, try to end up with 3 no trump. If you don't have an 8-card fit, you should be a no trump. So that's how you determine your strength. And as we were talking, the opener bids a major suit. How many cards does he have? Okay, just one little rule here. The person responding to the opening major can have as few as 3 and bid that, raise it. There's different raises you can make, but if you have 3 of your partner's major, you now have how many cards minimum between the two of you? 8. That's your golden fit. There's no need to discuss any further what the trump suit's going to be. It's going to be that. Okay? Now you know this is so 1 spade, some number of spades. We're going to be in some number of spades. Now you have to determine is how high. Okay? So you determine the strain and the level. Okay, any questions on the golden games or where you're trying to go? Any questions, nagging questions or anything? Yes.
Points required for a minor to go with the game? Don't you need?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Excellent question. Sorry, I missed that. Excellent question. And this is another reason you want to be in majors. You need 29 combined points to big game in a minor. So you need to have a real long diamond suit or club suit or more high card points. Whereas you only need 25 to make 3 no trump. And you only need 25 to make 4 hearts, even though it's 1 more trick or 4 spades, because of the trumping power that you have there. You'll likely pick up a trick with 1 of your trumps and so forth. But you need 29 points to big game in clubs or diamonds, and you need 25 to big game in any of the 3 golden fits. Okay? So when you have diamonds and clubs as your golden fit, you want to steer it to no trump unless you just got a slew of points. And even then, you're probably better off in 3 no trump because you're going to make your 5 tricks and you're going to get an extra 60 points there. So you get 160 instead of 100. Okay, so just briefly summarize, then we'll take a break here. You evaluate your hand, you count your high card points and your distribution points. How many points do you get how do you count your distribution points?
For straight, 1 after 4, 1 each after 4.
5th card is 1, and each subsequent one is another 1. So you have your high card points and your distribution points, and if you have 13, you open, right? You have 13 or more, you open.
Are we going to discuss if you're a responder, then you can count your short? If you think you found your fit in your suit, when you count short?
We'll talk about that when we talk about the responder. Okay, we're going to talk about responder to no trump next week. And the week after that, we'll talk responder to opening bids. Okay, that's the most logical way to go because it builds. But you open. if you have 13 points, right? If you have 15 to 17 points and what? Balance 10, you open one no trump. If you don't have a balance 10 and you have 16 points, what do you open?
I hope they want. One of the suits.
You open one of a major if you have a 5-card major. That's the first priority. If you don't have a 5-card major, you open one of your longest minor suit. Okay? If you have equal numbers of diamonds and clubs, you open the higher of the two.
If you have 5 good, like spades, and you have 15 points, would you go with your 5 spades instead of no trump?
Right now, let's go with, what would you do, Susan? Would you go no trump or spades?
I always bid one no trump at 15 to 17 because it's too hard to convince your partner you have that many points if you don't. Rebids become a problem.
Okay, so if you have a 5-card major and 15 to 17 points, then one no trump. But it has to be this shape. You can't have 2 double ones. If you have 5 spades, 3 hearts, 3 diamonds, and 2 clubs, and you have between 15 and 17 points, open one no trump. Okay? But do not open it if you've got that.
Right.
And why can't you open one no trump with that?
Because then you
It's not a balanced hand, you've got a singleton. Okay? So if you have specifically the 5-3-3 2 shape, and you have a 5-card major, and you're between 15 and 17, you can open one of the major. Okay?
You can have 2 doubletons? No.
No, not to open no trump.
No.
If you have 2 doubletons, it's an unbalanced hand, and you must open something other than no trump. So if you have an unbalanced hand and you have 13 points, first you look for a 5-card major. Bid it if that's what you have. If you have 2 5-card majors, bid the higher of the 2. If you have neither, bid the longest minor suit. If they're both the same length, bid the higher of the 2. If they're both 3 cards, which can happen, 3 diamonds and 3 clubs, is the only exception. Bid the clubs. Okay? Did you get all that? So the possible openings are one no trump with a balance 10, 15 to 17 points. All others, one of your best suit. If you have a 5-card major, bid that. If you don't have a 5-card major, your longest minor. Yes?
I was told that you had to have 4 diamonds to bid 1 diamond, do you?
I'm saying you do, yes. Okay, that's what I'm saying. If you're
Right, I heard
if
that.
you're 3-3 in diamonds, I would bid.
What happens when you have 4-4-3-2 distribution exactly?
Okay, right.
Yeah,
You have
then
to
you
bid
will have
diamonds.
3 diamonds, and you will open 1 diamond with only 3 diamonds.
That would be the only time.
Happens about 3% of the time, so don't worry about it.
And just one slight thing, just to think about, when we start talking about responses more. So if I open 1 spade, you know I have at least 5. How many do you feel you need to have to be able to respond to that? 3. 3, because 5 and 3 is 8. Conversely, if I open 1 diamond, how many should you have to raise my diamonds?
4.
Didn't we just say you could have 3?
And we still do 4.
Do 5, you should have 5.
Because you may only have 3 of them.
You may only have 3. Now, if you and your partners want to work out something, I would highly recommend, certainly not fewer than 4, but 5 is the practical thing to do. You should have 5. Plus, if you're bidding diamonds, you should still be searching for a major suit field, and we'll talk about that when we do that later. Okay. All right, let's take a 5-10 minute hospitality break.
Okay,
and we'll
I have